In this video, we're going to be using Colonel Conk Bay Rum, respecting the conch, and we're going to roll with the mighty Weck Sexto Blade. Stay tuned. Hey there, folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host, CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm very excited about today's shave because I'm using some stuff that I really look forward to using. One being Colonel Conk. Yes, the conch. Very inexpensive, $3.90 for 2.25 ounces, or it's a chart busting. There's my chart. This is less than our chart begins at $1.73 per ounce, which is an exceptional price. And this soap makes a surprisingly good lather. Let me show you one of the shots that I took just a moment ago when I was lathering this. It really makes a respectable lather. This is a surprisingly good product in my view. I used one just a week or so ago. Glycerin-based soap. The only knock I would have on this soap is I don't know what the ingredients are because it's not on the website and it's not on here. I do know it's glycerin-based. Now, something to mention, here is the old label, and you'll see it says world famous Colonel Conk. The new one has Colonel Ichabod Conk on it, and this is how you can tell if you have the old formula or new, which has the new label. Unfortunately, I don't know the ingredients. So Colonel Conk folks, put the ingredients on the website, please. I would love to see that. But other than that, bay rum scent, straight bay rum. They have added more scent, but still, this is not overpowering. I cut a piece of this off because I'm going to send this to Marion. He's never tried it, and I said, people need to try the conch, and I think they will respect the conch. Anyway, bay rum scent, nice scent, no problem with that. The razor today, I've been looking for it. I have been looking forward to getting to for a long time. The Weck Sexto Blade, which I purchased probably 3 weeks ago, but I've been honing so much, I've never had a chance of getting around to it. Now, these Wecks are, they will give you a weeper or a creeper or a nick if your touch is not light, but they shave exceptionally well in my view and very, very smooth for me. They're different than your, say, Feathers SS, which I have here, because you see the blade on there and you see the things that round it, and you see this sort of bevel here, which sort of sets the angle for you and somewhat protects you from the blade. Not the case with the Weck. It's just a blade hanging out there. So it's just all you, all your technique, no protections of any kind or angle setting. This, when you use one of these, is all you. And I do enjoy using them. I don't always use them well. Sorry, I'm tongue twisted today because I'm excited. I don't always use them well, but I try, and they do give me an exceptionally good close shave. I tend to get closer with these than I do with my straights. I enjoy both, don't get me wrong. 24 hours growth here, you see it on the camera. Let's go ahead and use our Glen Helly Mister. I forgot to mention that lately. I'm telling you, this conch, I don't know if you can see that, it makes a good lather, and it is $1.73 an ounce. And if you haven't been watching DK and Shave 326's videos of the last couple of days, I will link a couple of them below. And they've gotten into this subject of, the base things and comparing, the highest end soaps versus soaps that aren't that costly. Folks, I'm telling you, this stuff right here, you can see that it makes a good lather, and it's going to be slick. Now, when people talk about slickness, it's impossible to measure slickness. There's no objective measurement. We don't have a slickometer. When it comes to scent strength of soaps, we don't have a scentometer. When it comes to post-shave feel, we don't have a softometer to measure any of those qualities. So we can't speak objectively. Anytime you hear people talking about slickness, and this soap is slicker than that, it is a subjective opinion. It is not objective. It cannot be proven with what we have today. And you're hearing opinion. So I try not to compare too much of these days. Slickness of one product versus another. They're all pretty slick. Almost anything you get that comes from a reputable source. And I'm telling you, this conch, despite being very inexpensive, is good stuff. The brush today is one I got off Amazon. It's a polar shaving. I think it's G4 or something. I can't recall. It was an inexpensive brush with a synthetic knot. And I like using it, the Conk. It's surprisingly good. Like I said, in my last shave, I was surprised. And it's not meant to compete with the 12 butter soaps that are out there today in terms of that luxurious feel. But I'm telling you, it makes a good lather. And it will be plenty slick enough. Again, subjective versus objective. We can't really measure objectively how slick any soap is. Oh man, that's nice. This blade has 7 shaves. I think this is the 7th or 8th use. And this is a Persona hair shaper blade. This thing just shaves so smoothly. So the feel of these versus straights, and I know we all know the stallion does not like them. So I'm not making any comparison, and I'm not saying he's wrong not to like them, but I'm saying I do like them. And the reason being is if you have a very light touch, they shave very close. So what I find is when I use one of these versus even a well-honed straight from a professional, that I tend to get a closer shave. And it cuts incredibly smoothly for me, meaning when I say smooth, I mean it works through those hairs with minimal effort. You're not having to muscle this blade. It's so sharp, it just, you know, it's easily passing through. That's generally what I mean when I say smooth. And if you're mindful of your technique, which I hope to be today, I will not guarantee, it provides a very nice, comfortable shave for me. Again, understanding that they're not everyone's cup of tea. I completely understand that. But I remember when I would say, I'm getting this feels smooth, and the stallion would go, it's not smooth. And I'm like, it is for me. And I'm not saying he's wrong, because for him, they don't feel great, and that's okay. But for those of us who enjoy them, they feel very good indeed. You just have to be mindful of your technique and try, and what I'm going to try to do today, and I hope to be successful at keeping a light touch, not too much muscle. You don't horse these Wecks because they're just super sharp. I don't care what blade it is, it's going to be sharp most likely, relative to a straight razor. And straight razor blades are sharp too, don't get me wrong. They'll cut you quite easily. But I find that this thing just moves through growth super easily. And whereas anybody who knows who started straight razor shaving and they came from a machine blade, the first feeling that you have is when you get your first straight razor, even if it's honed by a professional, is, oh, this might be dull. It's not. It's super, super sharp, but it's not generally as sharp as a machine blade. If you're coming from years and years of machine blades and you get a straight, your initial feelings are often, oh, that doesn't feel right. Well, over time, it becomes normal, right? So you'll use it and use it and use it, and then you become accustomed. Okay, this is the way it's supposed to feel. Well, when you use one of these blades, it feels much more similar to your normal DE in terms of the way it cuts smooth, crisp, clean. And sometimes straight razor edges, because they can be toothy or they can be a little smooth and not quite as sharp, they may give you that feeling where you have to use a little juice to get through the growth, even if they're honed well. And I've used blades from Sprecher, the Stallion, many people who hone well. And there is a difference. Most of the straight razor edges you get don't feel exactly like a machine blade. Now, I've also used some straight razor edges from folks that felt so smooth they were similar, you know what I mean? And they cut so efficiently. But none of them, in my opinion, based on my limited use so far, keep that in mind, approach that of something like the Weck here, which it whips through that growth like nobody's business with very little effort. And so I do enjoy using them. I'm not saying I'm great at using them, but I enjoy it. The key, I think, is just to, especially when putting it to your face, which is my Achilles heel and where I typically make mistakes, try to be cognizant of what you're doing. And sometimes down here, I'll have a tendency to come in too steep. And they will make you pay the price if you come in too steep. And they will do it more so than your typical straight razor will. The edge is, generally speaking, thinner and sharper, and so they will, as Frank from Wet Shaving and Stuff likes to say, show their affection with a little kiss. Crimson kiss. Meaning you'll have a little weeper, or if you use too much pressure and come in too steep, you'll get a pretty good nick. I mean, they'll let you know that they've been there. They'll show you their affection. And so, as best you can, try to keep a light touch is my advice. And again, this is coming from someone who isn't supremely experienced with them, but I've used them enough to know that you better be careful. But you've seen others use them recently, like Shave 326 and DK, as we mentioned earlier, and they're really enjoying them. And of course, we know that a lot of the European guys like Dave Card, Maddie, Frank, Johan really enjoy using these, and for good reason, in my opinion, because they work well and they shave really, really well. And I enjoy using them too. Put me in the camp of people who really like them. Now, anyway, back to, I think I started talking about this, but maybe didn't finish up. Back to DK and Shave 326. They raised videos that I think you should watch with respect to, technique and soaps, artisanal offerings, sort of comparing them and what they actually do for the shave versus what you need to do as a shaver. Very good videos, very thought-provoking. And I enjoy those kind of things. Not everyone will agree with their opinions, but that's okay. We don't all need to agree. I'm friends with many, many different people, and we often disagree about things, but that doesn't affect the fact that we're friends. And one other thing I want to mention is, I'm also friends with sometimes people who don't see eye to eye with other people in the community. And I don't get pulled into that just because you don't like X person, I don't like them as well. That's not what I do. Like if I have a relationship with Shaver X and we're always good with one another, we have a good relationship. And so I try not to be affected by other people who are arguing with that person. You know what I mean? So for example, I'm friends with the Stallion who hates Shavettes, and I'm friends with Dave Card who loves Shavettes, and sometimes they don't see eye to eye. But both have value, and we shouldn't just take sides and side with one or, the other, because they both have a lot of value. And they've both been very helpful to me personally. And I think I got a big chunk there I need to get off because I cut pieces of the conch off to put in the bowl, and I actually put way more than I needed. Anyway, point is, we can disagree and remain agreeable. Let's effort to do that, and let's listen to other people's opinions. I think I could actually use some more water. Let's go for it. Why not? I'm telling you right now. Respect the conch, because it's given me everything every other soap gives. I mean, the lather is good, It's plenty slick enough. We're using a razor here that everybody knows who uses it or who have tried it, is the ninja class of shaving, meaning if you can use this one, you can use anything. And I'm telling you right now, this conch, plenty slick enough. Again, I can tell you how slick it is relative to any other soap. I can't, because I can't measure that. I can tell you right now, it's got plenty of slickness. And it's working well. And my face feels great as well. It's a glycerin-based soap. I mean, I strongly encourage you to try things and base your opinion on actual use and less on what you hear people like me say, talking heads, you know. Take it into consideration. I'm glad you're watching. Don't get me wrong. Try it for yourself and make up your own mind. Use some of these products and see if you find, like I have over the years, and I am quite certain that I have used over the years that I've been doing this, it is hundreds of soaps. It is probably somewhere in the neighborhood, maybe close to 1,000, but definitely over 500 without question. And based on my experience, this Conk, it works as good as anything else. Now, it may not be as enjoyable for you. You may not enjoy the scent as much. You may have some post-shave things that you prefer in other soaps. But I'm telling you right now, when it comes to this razor, which is incredibly sharp, even on shave number 7, the Weck with this machine blade gliding across the skin, it's doing everything you need. Or, let me put it differently, it's doing everything I need. And I'll just say this, and I know this will be controversial for some folks. In terms of what we're doing right here, which is this soap is providing the slickness for this very sharp blade to glide over. It's doing just as much as A&E did the other day. Now, I'm not saying that this one is enjoyable. It doesn't have the capabilities of holding water, I would say. But in terms of being slick, it's slick. You can see that. So another thing I would say is believe far more what you see and less what you hear people say, you know. So if you're seeing these things working and you're seeing this today, I think it means something. So I just don't talk about things. I use them and you see them in use every day, day in, day out. I've been doing it for a long time. I've taken some breaks along the way, but I've made many, many, many videos, and you've seen the things work here over the years, and you've seen me try different things. And what I hope that you will take from it is that most of these products work pretty darn good, and that's sort of the point that Decay and Shave 326 was making. So especially for you folks who are budget-minded, don't ignore these sort of products because you've been promised and told that these other soaps have magical properties which cannot objectively be proven. Just can't be proven. It's that simple. Okay. That was an excellent shave. Close, smooth, enjoyable. The Weck hitting the spot once again. I absolutely love it. Let me rinse. We'll come back, get into the post. Stay tuned. All right, and then we come with the magic made by witches. I got to tell you folks something. This was an incredible shave. The mighty Weck did its job well. Believe what you see and not what you hear. You've seen it today. The Conk, it did a fantastic job. It made a fantastic lather. It had fantastic slickness. It is not made to compete on a luxury basis. Creamy, dense, enjoyable lather. But I'm telling you right now, you've seen it work. You've seen the lather using one of the most challenging shaving tools there is to use, the Weck. No cuts, nicks, creepers, weepers, irritation, bubbles, troubles. Believe what you see. Believe what you see. Believe what can be objectively shown or proven. We used the Polar G4. Off cam, we used the PAA alum. Very little stinging. Man, you just can't beat it. Budget shaving, enjoyable, everything coming together the way it's supposed to. We're going to finish it off with old school, Old Spice. I'm telling you folks, try the Conk. Forget what you're told about all this luxury and just try it and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, maybe it doesn't work for you. But for me, it really hit the spot. Respect the Conk. That's all I have to say. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I want to remind you, I'm CDB. It's your shave, do it your way. And as always, God bless.